host the Miami Heat. You'll hear that here on WMMS. 7 o'clock is your tip-off. Tonight, 6:30, is when that pregame coverage begins. Today is the last day for you to use the promo code ANEW, ANEW, at CLE Clothing Co. In-store or online. And then I'll have a new keyword for you tomorrow. I'm going to find out if they've signed off on the keyword that I suggested for the month of February, which begins tomorrow. I haven't heard back. I don't know why they're hemming and hawing about it, but I suggested a word for February.
Can we guess what word you suggested?
Of course. This is a free exchange of ideas around
Is it a February-centric word, like
Valentine?
based on the holiday or something?
My guess is Valentine.
It is February-centric.
Heart.
No.
President.
President.
President's Day.
President's Day.
Oh, is that February?
Mm-hmm.
We have that day off?
Birthday boy.
Is that your birthday?
Mm-hmm.
President's Day is your birthday?
It's not my birthday, but,
Black.
I was going to say Black History Month.
No, that's
President's Day is the 20th. Yeah.
All lives matter.
No.
Candy.
No.
Martin.
Cupid.
Martin.
Oh, Arrow.
Martin Luther King.
We just had Martin Luther King Day.
I know, but Black History Month. I was just thinking.
Peanut. Carver.
No. It is Valentine-centric.
Well, we don't.
We
I
said
don't feel like-
Valentine, heart, candy,
Mm-hmm.
Bang.
Cupid, date,
No.
love.
No. I suggested throb.
Throb.
Oh, throb.
Heart-centric.
Oh, God.
We'll see. We'll see if they like that. They'll see what they come back with, and we'll go from there. But that was the word that I suggested. But anyway, irrespective of what it is, you'll have a brand new one tomorrow, and you'll be able to use it for 20% off whatever you get over there. I was fascinated. I love these stories of these guys that get into some trouble and then kill themselves. There's a really good-looking dude in New York, mid-40s, easily looks 10 years younger, married guy, 5 kids, some in their teens, some in their 20s. This guy's a rich dude. He's a financier from Connecticut who jumped from a rooftop bar in Manhattan, the 54th floor. Wow. He jumped from a balcony at the Hyatt Times Square. And they were like, oh, my God. Now, anytime somebody does that, you know some bad stuff's coming. You know they caught him with photos, or you know they caught him with whatever. Some of these guys...
Yeah, something on his hard drive.
Yeah, they're not made for incarceration. Well, this guy, I guess he was getting divorced. And his wife had gotten a restraining order against him because I guess he hit her or something. But he got a bunch of kids. He could easily pay the bond because he was a rich dude. So he was going to be charged with criminal mischief and disorderly conduct. Did he think he was going to be going to Rikers for this, or just right around happy hour, about 6:30 in the evening, jumps from the rooftop of this bar
People are just having.
in Times Square? What?
I said people were just having dinner and just chilling out, and then.
Yeah, I always think about people who jump because you got a lot of time to think on the way down, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know. But a rich guy, and plenty of these dudes that are rich, they get into similar problems. You know, the cops came out to the house a couple of times, so maybe he had a short fuse. This guy, but he had a $4 million house, making good money, got his own equity firm, whatever it is, got into some trouble. It's not like they found kiddie porn on his computer or anything like that. I can see it going over the railing if that's the case. Graduate of Brigham Young University. Mormon family. Got an MBA from Harvard.
My guess is there's more stuff coming out.
You think?
I think so.
It's not just the domestic violence?
And there's probably a reason. Well, the fact that he was at a bar doesn't look good for him as a Mormon, because Mormons Don't hang out at bars.
Oh, maybe he's still not practicing. You know, practice makes perfect. Maybe he's still practicing, but hasn't gotten the hang of it yet.
Well, he's in trouble now because it's a big no-no to kill yourself in the Mormon church.
I think it's a big no-no to kill yourself in every religion.
Tell that to
There's
Jim
got to be
Jones.
one that they're like, yeah, that's the way to get to our heaven.
That's
That's the ultimate sacrifice, right?
The drink. You're not jumping, but you're drinking Kool-Aid or something.
But I think I think most religions, but Jim Jones said that he was God. That's why he got all those people to do that.
Right, but I'm just.
But in religions where you worship something higher than you, I think it's frowned upon. Your body is considered to be a temple of that deity, and it's considered poor form, at the very least, to do away with it. Poundcake should look this guy up. Dale Cheney, 46 years old, good-looking guy.
Let me see. See if he
Looks younger than 46. Well, you know what I mean. I don't.
Mormons take care of themselves, you know.
Do they?
I mean, some of them do.
All that purity.
Yeah.
Whack,
if
don't
you're not-
crack.
How
Is
do
that
you
what
spell
it
it?
is?
Because there's a bunch of Dale Cheney.
Cheney. Just you could Google financier jumps from rooftop, and a picture of him will come up. But it is wild. He's a good-looking guy, right?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
giving me like David Muir.
Well, he doesn't look like that anymore because he jumped from the 54th floor. I didn't mean to rhyme. It just came out that way.
I'm all right.
So he was facing some criminal charges. But again, not, rich white dude. Thinks he's going to go to prison for 20 years for hitting his wife?
Beautiful teeth.
Beautiful teeth. Let me reiterate. Not anymore. Doesn't look like that now.
Teeth are still beautiful. They're just out of his head.
They're all over the street. Right. Times Square.
I'd wear those chops.
You'd wear his teeth?
Yeah. Put them in some dentures, knock these puppies out. I'd wear those. Those are some choppers, man.
Yeah.
I was already upset because a really hot guy, one of the people I follow, I lust after on Instagram, Instagay, he died, and they don't know. I think it's suspicious. He was like
Wait, his handle is Instagay, or that's what you call him? That's a shorthand for...
No, he's an Instagay. He was
He's an
He was a
Instagay.
rugby player in Australia. His name's Simon Dunn. And he
Well,
was
he
like-
is.
He came out of the closet and he was a rugby player, and he stopped doing that and went into like modeling, I guess. But he ended up dead over the weekend. Or no, this was like a week ago or something.
And he committed suicide?
They don't know what happened. They just found him laying on his apartment floor.
Mhm.
And it's sad because, again, like you say, when a hot person dies, it's extra sad because...
It is. We don't have many of them around.
And he's gay, so he's probably
More tragic
lonely.
when an attractive person dies.
He broke up with his boyfriend. He was just having a real hard time. I'm never going to...
Ellen, is there any chance this guy was thrown?
Oh.
Well, he was a financier. Maybe Putin was mad at him or something. But no, there's no indication that this guy, there was anything other than him jumping. He did it to stick it to his ex. And now it'll be on her mind forever because it was probably her fault. That's what this person texted me. Well, it gives me a little window into your world there.
Yeah, right.
That, all caps text. It often turns out that jumpers are unfairly targeted by either Van Halen or Chris Cross. See what's going on there. But, that guy, he got a bunch of kids, and I don't know. But you got a lot of time to think about it. It's a great scene. Kind of a spoiler alert, but if you're watching a show called Poker Face with Natasha Lyonne over there on Peacock, kind of like Natasha Lyonne is Columbo. That's kind of the vibe of this show. There's kind of a 70s feel to it,
I
even
love
though
her voice.
it's not, he's wild, raspy
Yeah.
cigarette and whiskey voice. But there's a scene where a guy jumps off a balcony, and they follow him along, and obviously it's kind of CGI'd a little bit, but he's just perfectly... if he was moving across instead of down, it looked like he was flying, but he's just kind of, and he doesn't do much moving, and it's like he's thinking all the way down. Just calmly walks to the ledge, puts his foot up, and leaps over. And I wonder if that's what this guy did. You figure you go from the 54th floor, by the time you get to the 40th, you're like, man, this was a bad idea. Why did I do this? Hopefully there'll be a cartoonishly available flagpole that maybe I can swing onto. Maybe an awning will catch my fall. Maybe I'll fall on a person and kill them.
I was going to say,
That's not unprecedented.
while you're thinking, I'm like, do you actively try to fall on your head so you won't feel the pain? Because I feel like
from that
if you
far
fall,
up,
fall,
no
you're-
matter what, you're
splat.
yeah, you're
Yeah, it's not like you're going to break an ankle. And
Yeah.
Oh, if only I had, why did I land on my heels? Yeah.
There's a documentary, we've talked about it before, called The Bridge, and it's about all the people that jump off the
Golden Gate
Bridge. And there's one person that survived, and they talk about the moment they left their feet. They're like, this is the worst thing I've ever. They're so instantly regretful. And he said it's such, like, you think it's a long time, but you have so much time to just instantly regret this. And he was lucky enough to live, but he goes pretty in depth about that instant regret and how long that fall is.
But there's all kinds of, there was this model in New York a little while ago, this beautiful girl who had a birthday, like mid-20s, I think. She takes a header off a balcony and, people, they have a hard time, man, and they don't have that phone number available. What's that phone number that they're posting all the time? They don't have that available.
Ain't that the one in the song?
Huh?
Yeah, someone wrote a song about it.
The Logic song.
Mm.
I called the mental health hotline after my dad died. I was having such a bad panic attack that I thought for sure I was dying. Like, I was 100% positive I was dying. And it was busy. And I was like, there's no
You're not the only one.
I was like, there's no way.
988
no
is
way.
the number now.
Yeah, it was like a 1-800 number is busy. And I was like, this can't be real. And I called back and nobody answered. They were just like, I was like, what is happening? Like,
If you'd like us to return your call.
Right. I'm like, you're supposed to be like my last literal lifeline.
Yeah.
And nobody's there, guys.
Nobody's there at
Outsource
all.
it. I don't talk to anybody at this point.
Hello?
Right.
Hey, I'm not feeling so great today. I'm so glad you picked up. Thank you so much. Let me give you this money here, and then I'll talk to Steve Vai. Chance for you to go fund yourself. Listen closely, and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword cash at WMMS.com. That's cash. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Something new / old from Steve Vai that we'll talk about called Let's Jam. There's nothing I can really say about Steve Vai that hasn't already been said, but I'll take an attempt, I guess. Steve, how are you?
All right. How you doing, Alan?
I'm good, brother. So, just so I'm clear, these songs have been on the shelf for a while. Is that right?
32 years.
32 years.
Yeah.
The album is called, is it Gash? Johnny Gash?
Gash. Yeah, Gash is the singer.
Vai Gash is the name of the album, and these are literally songs that have been... Give me the backstory of this. This was a pal of yours.
It's a great story. Johnny Sombrato, Johnny Gash Sombrato, is a friend of mine. He originally a New York guy, Italian biker from the East Coast, tough, funny, lovable kind of a guy. And he got the nickname Gash because when he was 21, he was riding his motorcycle along these power lines and he got lost. And he climbed an electrical tower to kind of see where he was. And while he was up there, the electric arced and it went through his whole body. And he fell dangling and he caught fire.
Yeah.
And then he fell 30 feet onto like barbed wire fence. And miraculously, he survived. 60% of his body was third-degree burns. And
it's almost like anything that could have gone wrong and that did go wrong in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but his face was perfect, and he's got this beautiful face, blue eyes and stuff, and this just gashed up kind of a body. And he survived and eventually moved out to California. And we started riding together because we were both into biking, the whole biking culture. And, Harleys for days.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We went on we were with a whole group of people and we were going on all these fantastic rides. And he was just, my God, he was unpredictable. He was crazy and just endearing. He would do wild things on the bike. I mean, if you look at the back cover of the CD, there's a picture of Gash riding his Harley. He's sitting on the back seat. He's turned around completely and he's flipping the bird.
Yeah. So this is a guy who kind of becomes a road pal of yours. He's got I mean, was he tangentially in the music biz? Did you know him that way? Was he just a guy you knew? I mean, what was the?
No, he was just a friend
Yeah.
that we all, we rode a lot together.
Sure.
And because we loved riding, I wanted to write some music so that we could have when we were riding, because there's a particular feeling you get when you're in the wind like that. And if you ever talk to a biker, they wax on romantically about the freedom
Yeah.
of the road. And I wanted to capture that in music so that we could have that. And I just stopped everything I was doing at that moment. I went into the studio by myself and basically within a week's period fleshed out this whole record with a drummer, Tiffany Smith. And I needed vocals, and I didn't even know Gash could sing. He didn't even know. I mean, he would sing he made some videos for his dad singing Frank Sinatra.
Right.
He had this beautiful crooner voice, but he never really blasted. And I would hear him just, like fake singing or something. And I said, there's something in his voice. And I actually, in a bit of desperation, I tried to sing this music, and it was an abysmal disaster because I don't have a rock and roll voice. So I just thought, I want to get Gash in the studio and see what. I couldn't believe what came out of his mouth. I mean, you listen to the record, it's confident, it's powerful, it's his personality. And I had no idea, and he just blasted it out.
Yeah, it sounds
And
great.
it was stunning.
He sounds like he would have been in perfect company with any one of the guys fronting bands at that time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that was the stunner. And then I had the record, and we listened to it when we were riding, and it was fantastic. But I had to finish some other projects. So I put it aside for a while, and with the idea to, put a couple more songs and maybe and then release it at some point. And because we only had 8 songs, and one of them I had written with Nikki Sixx,
Yeah.
the song New Generation. And when I went back to do that, tragically, Gash was killed in a motorcycle accident. And I was so disheartened, I just took the whole project and I just put it on the shelf. And it sat for 10 years before I could even listen to it again. And I started listening to it, and I just started having so much appreciation for him again. And the music just felt so good. I started thinking, well, maybe I should release this at some point. But it took another 20 years, I just
Well, that must have
putting
been
it off.
but that must have been a huge thrill for him. I mean, in that time before he died, obviously, just to kind of be, you guys are friends. It's not like your managers introduced you, or it was nothing like that. No inner circle stuff.
No, we were friends.
That must have been great for him.
I absolutely think so, because we really liked each other. We were really good friends, and he would have been so great to have been in a band with and toured with, because he's just fun, crazy, unpredictable, and oozing with charisma. I mean, when I listen to the record, I see him in my mind's eye on an arena stage, because
Sure.
I've been on those stages so many times, and I know what it takes for a lead singer, a rock star type lead singer, to be able to permeate an audience with their ego, and be that commanding presence that we all love. There's a big difference between that and a really good singer,
Right.
And Gash was both. He absolutely had both. So I like seeing him doing that in my mind's eye, and that's the closest we're going to get.
And frankly, to be I know it's a nickname, but I mean, to be for this guy to have fronted a band potentially called Gash would have set the hair alight of anybody that came within striking distance. It would have been. It's one of those, and I'm sure for a long time. I mean, it probably was very much a kind of a bittersweet what if for you. The whole thing is a what if.
Well, it is, so I look at it like this. I've had such a full, robust, beautiful career.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything, and when I think back to like all my experiences, they're memories now, like anybody. So what I like to do is to create an alternative universe in my mind, just like a little fantasy creation of what it all would have been like. So I can paint that picture any way I want. And the way I like to see it is, first and foremost, when you're touring and you're out there, it's just great. It can be really great fun, you know, and I've had great experiences, and I know they would have been great with him. And then I see him on that stage, and I see how he would have evolved into that role, because fame and, you know, that kind of exposure does something to people. It definitely, it's a yeah, I got to navigate it. And I see him doing that. So in my mind's eye, it is a memory of a past experience, although it's an alternative universe.
Well, but at the very least, you've got the songs. It's not all what would have happened had we recorded. You know, you do have those, and that's something, I guess. Yeah,
that is something. I mean, that's a big component.
Yeah. Steve Vai is one of the greats. You know, they're getting ready to announce, I know you're pressed, so I'm going to let you go here. They're getting ready to announce the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees, and I'm constantly perplexed why there aren't more solo guitarists inducted into the Rock and Roll. I think Bonnie Raitt's in there, Muddy Waters, and you know, you could probably count them on one hand. But when I think of like what I came up listening to, guys like you and Satch and Tony McAlpine and Vinnie Moore, and you know, the list goes on. And so it's always amazing to me when guys like you are out there and consistently for decades doing great work. Why that's not,
but not recognized in something.
Yeah,
like,
it's very, very strange. And I mean,
it's not a problem.
Yeah,
it's all right. You know, the thing is that's pop culture.
Yeah,
you know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a component of pop culture, and that's like Rolling Stone, and and that's all great. It's fine. It's our culture, you know. But guys like me are a different kind of breed. I don't breathe that pop culture air so much. Maybe a little here and there, but you know, a guy like me would be far-fetched to consider.
Yeah. Well, listen. Congratulations on this. Vigash is the album. The songs are 30 years old, but they're out now. The vinyl drops in February 24th, and I'm always a fan, Steve. I appreciate your time, and thanks, pal.
Oh, thanks so much, Alan. All the best, brother.
There's Steve Vai. The song's called Let's Jam. Pretty good with his buddy Johnny Gash. 1991, these were recorded. And yeah, it all is one big what if.